podcast. What is going on with these drone sightings across the country? New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Oregon, Nevada. I think we got California in the mix. What is happening with this? You know, we call them drones, but I don't even know if they're drones. Are they coming from the government? Are they coming from our enemies? Are they alien vessels and vehicles? One thing I can tell you, it sure looks like they want to be spotted. So I'm totally fascinated with this story. I've always been fascinated with UFOs, unidentified flying objects, or now, what is it, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, right? That's what they want us to call them. The military seems helpless in all of this. That may be the most frightening part of this story, is the military is claiming complete ignorance over this. The FBI is claiming ignorance over all of this. Do they really not know what these things are? It is frightening to me that that is the case. Let me play for you a little video here. So this is one example of a giant drone over a neighborhood. What is that? And it's big, folks. Some of these things, the size of an SUV, we're being told. And this one's got the red lights, and then it all of a sudden just goes and it disappears. So what we're going to do today is we're going to dig into the UFO phenomenon, the drones, where is it coming from, the possible scenarios, some of the evidence of where it could be. Some things people are talking about online, some things people aren't talking about online. Now, all these are theories. We don't have anything proven because the government's being very secretive on this. And maybe that's the other part of this story, is what we need is transparency. I don't believe anything our government agents tell us now, not when it comes to the drones, not when it comes to anything. So before I do that, folks, let me just tell you real quick about one of our great sponsors, EnergizedHealth.com. I've been on the Energized Health program now for a few months. It only took me 2 weeks to lose 15 pounds. I didn't need to lose a lot of weight, but I lost that 15, and I have maintained that loss. I've made this virtually a way of life, and it's easy. I changed what I eat just around a little bit. I changed the way I work out, a little tweaks here or there. But the science behind intercellular hydration is literally phenomenal. I think my skin has gotten clearer. My mind has gotten sharper. All of this thanks to the Energized Health program. So if you want a total mind, body, soul transformation, you got to get with these folks. EnergizedHealth.com/grant. There's individual coaching. There's weekly Zoom calls. There's the plan that's all scientifically based. There's a 100% money back guarantee. If you're not happy, they give you your money back. This is not a fad supplement juice diet. This is about really changing the way you think and what you do to get your hydration at a cellular level, and it changes the game. EnergizedHealth.com/grant. All right, with that, folks, let's get the show started. Let's just show it right off the bat, is a series of drones in New Jersey flying and darting around all over the place. It's borderline bizarre what's happening. You hear the guy shooting the video, and I'm just going to play it for you to see here.
There is some wild-looking crap in the skies. Holy piss. Hold on. I'm going to put my hat on backwards. I don't know what's going on. I hope these are in focus. Look at this. What the hell's going on here? Oh, please be picking this up. This is nuts. Look at that. God, I wish my neighbor was here right now. He comes out and watches for UFOs, but holy crap.
It's crazy looking, right? I mean, you look up there in the sky, and you can see just what it is, and it's scary looking to me. You know, when I look at this and you look at the video here, that's not the best part of the video, but this is, and it's crazy.
Holy piss. Hold on. I'm gonna put my hat on backwards. I I don't know what's going on. I hope these are in focus.
They're in focus, and they're flying all over the place. So here's the strange thing. The source, according to our government, is unknown. Do you believe them? I don't. I think the number one suspect for these is our own government. Number two would be a foreign enemy, China, Iran, Russia. And we'll go through in the podcast a little bit later about why I think these nations would be prime culprits. Now, many of these drones, you can see them. And so when you see them, they want to be seen. Though there's evidence that some of them disappear upon sight. So you see them, they're bright, they're lit up like Christmas trees, and then all of a sudden they disappear. Well, there was a hearing yesterday in Washington. We're going to get into the hearing about these. Fox News ran a report on it.
You see, Trump National Golf Club isn't far from the Picatinny Arsenal military base, which some thought may be behind the drones. But the base tells Fox News, quote, while the source and cause of these aircraft operating in our area remain unknown, we can confirm that they are not the result of any Picatinny Arsenal-related activities. Now, Fox News also spoke with Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey. He said it doesn't appear the pilots of these drones are breaking any laws, rules, or regulations. They're staying out of restricted airspace, which he says is an indication that they know what they're doing.
I do not believe it's the U.S. military, and if it is, and if they're doing exercises, shame on them for the disorganized way they are doing it. I don't believe it is them. I am hopeful it is not a foreign adversary, yet I do worry about that.
All right, so that would be one of my suspects. Foreign adversary. Number one would be the U.S. military or intelligence apparatus. There's been some talk that maybe these drones that are coming in swarms are trying to detect radiation. That is there some fear that maybe we have dirty bombs being moved around the country or through New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and that they're trying to detect radiation in small levels. These are just theories. I can't tell you that that's a fact. But I can tell you that the Picatinny base that they talk about, there were 11 confirmed sightings since just the 13th of November. Now, if you go around the country for drone sightings like this, you've got dozens upon dozens. Across New Jersey, since Sunday, not just the Picatinny, but since Sunday, we've had dozens of sightings, including, as they mentioned, over Bedminster Golf Course, which is President Trump's golf course. To me, it's somewhat frightening to have the military seem helpless, the FBI claiming they don't know what the heck it is. And I'll tell you what's really amazing is there was one report that the clock in the car had changed when the drone flew over the car. Now, why would the clock change? We know that in many of the newer cars today, that they operate off a GPS signal to set the time and do many other things with the car, right? This is how they track all the data in your car, which is frightening in and of itself with Big Brother watching. But we know that it can set the time using GPS signals. If these drones have a GPS jamming or even spoofing capability, which means your car will receive whatever signal the drone is sending, that's somewhat frightening. What if the drones can all of a sudden shut down the cars? I mean, I don't know. Am I out of line thinking this? Probably not. So when the drone flew away, guess what happens? The clock goes back to normal. To me, this is absolutely nuts. So in the hearing, you had members of Congress asking the intelligence community, the military, FBI, and beyond questions like this.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
100% agree. And in fact, if you don't know what they are, it just goes to show you how inadequate and inept our government is. Because you can figure out what they are in a very simple fashion. Shoot one down? Now, I'm not recommending anybody out there shoot a drone down. You get in trouble. Remember what happened to the other guy who shot a drone down. He got arrested. It was a Walmart drone. Good old boy, old man. I don't recommend you doing that. Plus, the bullets go up. They've got to come down. But there is technology in order to take these drones down from a military perspective, especially when they're out over the ocean. There are stories that these drones are coming in from over the ocean and on into New Jersey. So to me, you've got to take one of these down. You got to analyze what it is, who's making it, and those kind of things. But they're sophisticated because many of them go dark when spotted. Okay? So that's crazy. Now, again, the theories are U.S. government is testing whatever capability they have. I can tell you this, last month started testing of the B-21 bomber. Now, that was in California. The B-21 just started testing. If you go back in history, anytime the United States government came up with a new technology, you had a rise in UFO sightings. This goes for the Predator drones, the Reaper drone, and, of course, the Global Hawk drones, which led to confusion and all kinds of UFO reports when these drones started flying. There's no indication these are those, and they don't look like those at all either. And, again, they're lit up like Christmas trees. So back to the theories. U.S. is testing the drones. Private companies have cracked the code on drone technology, and they're testing it, maybe even defying the law. You had Jeff Van Drew saying that they're flying within their rights. I'm not convinced they are. I think there's some laws being broken by where these things are flying. You got our U.S. adversaries sending these drones on shore. Are they sending us a warning shot? Do they want us to know that they're here? What if it's Russia? Look, the United States under Joe Biden just gave Ukraine the okay to shoot American missiles into Russia. Maybe Russia's sending America a sign. Hey, don't tussle with us. Maybe this is China releasing drone swarms on us like they did when they released the COVID virus on us. Iran, we know they were looking to assassinate President Trump. You've got Iran sending drones over Bedminster. They've closed that airspace now down because of it. We'll see if the drones obey the closed airspace. And then, of course, the last suspect in all of this is the craziest, is that these are non-human. That this is alien technology, and the aliens are increasing their presence here and maybe even mimicking human-style vehicles. Maybe. I don't know. But again, the fact that we don't know, Josh Hawley reiterates.
Yeah, you can't tell me that we don't know what that is. I just think they're not being honest with us. I think that if we don't know, if our government really has no idea, then they're even more incompetent than I thought. We've got to get to the bottom of this, and they need to level with the American people about what's going on. It's crazy.
Well, do you expect them to level with us anytime soon? I actually don't, sadly. I don't think it's coming anytime soon. All right, I want to get back to the congressional hearing in just a moment. But first, let me tell you about a place where I made a what I consider to be a fabulous investment for me. I'm not giving you investment advice, but I will tell you that Get21Now.com is paying me 21% annualized interest on my investment, paid monthly. I cut a deal with them, signed contract. That 21% is paid and direct deposited into my account every month. It's great. How do they do it? It's Bitcoin mining. I lock into the 21%. I want you to talk to them about the deals they'll make for you. You're welcome to sign a deal up for this 21%. I find it great. They mine the Bitcoin in these institutional style warehouses. They buy the electricity super cheap. They can mine the Bitcoin for far cheaper than they can sell it on the open market. That Bitcoin comes in, they sell it the next day. They're not holding Bitcoin. They're not investing in it. This is not a commodities play. This is simply mine it, sell it, mine it, sell it. Pay me that 21% annualized on my money. Every month I get a check. It's mailbox money. I've had employees that I don't have to deal with now. This is no overhead for me, no headaches for me. I don't have to deal with any of the problems. I just get that 21%, literally. And they have lived up to their promises. The name of the company is NFN8. I urge you to check them out, and I want you to get with them. Go to the website, get21now.com. Just fill out the little form. They'll get right back to you. And when they do, if you don't answer the phone when they call you, call them back. I promise you, you are going to like this. You really will. Get21now.com, get21now.com. All right, let's get back to this congressional hearing.
What is going on in New Jersey?
So, sir, the FBI and our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity over that part of New Jersey, including proximity to sensitive sites and areas of concern. So we do not attribute that to an individual or a group yet. We're investigating, but I don't have an answer of who's responsible for that, of one or more people that are responsible for those drone flights. But we're actively investigating. What the Bureau has done to aid our state and local partners.
All right, but hold on a second. You're actively investigating, but this has been going on for the last few months. You still don't have answers going in front of the United States Congress. So I'd ask all of you out there, do you believe that they don't have answers, or are they just lying to us? Do you believe Josh Hawley when he says he doesn't know what they are? Jeff Van Drew, he doesn't know what they are. Governor Murphy, I'll play a soundbite from him, that he doesn't know what they are. Do you believe them when they say this? I tend to believe the members of Congress that they don't know what they are. Here's XC Scott on the Rumble channel says this is nothing compared to what the Chinese are doing with swarm drones. They are making animated 3D images for display with drones. Well, we've all seen the drone shows. What happens if you weaponize those drones? And we know the drones can be weaponized. What happens if these drones are weaponized? Part of the hearing, the NFL weighed in on this. You had FIFA soccer weighing in on this. And yet you have the members of Congress who are interviewing these government officials saying there's no danger. How could you say that?
Is what we generally do, enlist the help of the interagency, enlist the help of the public. There's a tip line there, that 1-800-CALL-FBI, tips.fbi.
Oh, a tip. That's what they want.
Information from the public that could help us resolve this. It is concerning.
Is the public at risk? Is public safety at risk? Are we concerned that there are nefarious intentions that could cause either national security?
All right, hold on. We're going to have to play this little part of the soundbite over because this is the most important soundbite of the hearing. Is the public at risk? I'm going to tell you, I'm not an FBI agent. I'm not a CIA agent. I'm not a military intelligence guy. I'm not a fighter pilot. I'm not a governor of any state. I'm not an FBI. I'm none of these things. I'm going to tell you, the public could be at risk. You can't answer legitimately unless you know exactly what they are. And once you told me you don't know what they are, then you can't tell me we're not in danger.
Help us resolve this. It is concerning.
Is the public at risk? Is public safety at risk? Are we concerned that there are nefarious intentions that could cause either national security or a public safety incident that would put Americans at risk?
There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that, but we just don't know, and that's the concerning part.
Okay, that's the equivalent of a jihadist roaming in your city. There's nothing that you know that a jihadist lives down the street, but one might, and if he does, it's pretty darn dangerous. If you don't know what these, keep calling them drones. We don't even know what they are. If you don't know what these UAPs are, UFOs are, you cannot tell me they're not dangerous. Now, on the YouTube channel, John Kent writes, seems like if they were dangerous, they would just come in and do what they're going to do. I agree with you, but what gets me is the brightness of them, the lighting that they have. They want to be seen. Even if it was our own military, wouldn't our own military operate in a more stealth manner? These are like calling attention. They're like Christmas trees in the sky. Here's a witness to one of them with some video playing.
So that's it. It looks like it's flying pretty low. And from that perspective, it looks very large, right? And all those lights in the sky that you see there, see those lights? Those are apparently drones as well, they say, seeming to fly in a V formation, with the whole saga stressing people out nearby.
We're all completely unnerved. I didn't sleep last night. When I would get up and look out my window at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., they were still hovering. I got up at 5:30 this morning and they were still there. As the sun was starting to rise, they went back in the same direction they came from. And I expect they'll be back as soon as the sun goes down tonight.
It's normal to see red and green lights in December, unless they're coming from mysterious drones in the night sky.
It's kind of unsettling. They're not up for 15 minutes, they're up for hours. Some are very big, probably the size of a car.
Mike Walsh says he's seen hundreds of them over the past 2 weeks from his Randolph backyard and has the video to prove it.
They kind of go slow, they come towards you, then they'll change direction a little. They're all going different ways.
The drones have been spotted all over Morris County. Morristown police sent an alert to residents Sunday saying they are aware of drone activity and that if a drone crashes or lands, do not approach or handle it.
All right, so this is one of the big concerns. Some of the drones are huge. You know that one I showed you that flew over the house? The first one? Let's see, that's this one, I believe. Yeah. See this? It's flying over the house with a red blinking light. Now, if the battery runs out on this one, that thing's crashing. That thing is taking somebody out. You cannot tell me it is legal to fly that over people's houses in America today. You can't. Where's a good spot, a shot of this with the different lights? Because the lights are what's interesting. There you go. See the light, the red light? This is what's interesting. Some of these have a red and green light on their wings, which changes color. See that? The lights change color. It makes no sense. That's not a commercial aircraft. They don't have those. There's that red blinking light in the center. That makes no sense. The tail light from other angles has 3 to 4 lights on it. That makes no sense. And on some of the videos, you see the nose has 2 very strange lights underneath the nose of the UFO that is super strong. The lights. I mean, so strong. They're not commercially, they're not commercial aircraft. They're not. I can tell you that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Rocky in Florida writes, that's 15 feet long minimum. Well, that's what they're saying. Some of these are the size of an SUV. An SUV is probably about 15 feet long, 12, 15 feet. Could imagine that, folks, comes crashing down on you. That's the last thing that you would want to happen. All right, I've got more of this. I'm going to play for you air traffic control audio of pilots who are looking at these things. Again, folks, we need to get to the bottom of what is going on here. I'm actually fearful. The more I look at this, the more I think, you know what, we got to be very, very concerned. Maybe this is a reason why you ought to think about making gold and silver as part of your investment portfolio, because when there's chaos, gold and silver make a perfect hedge to chaos. We know that we're now facing a budget shutdown again, another government shutdown. What is this going to do to the U.S. dollar? They're waging war on the U.S. dollar right now. Again, all of this, inflation up again this month. All of this leads me back to gold and silver should be part of your investment portfolio, should be part of your retirement plan. How do you take an existing IRA or 401k or even a portion of it and turn it into a gold or silver IRA? Get with my friends over at Colonial Metals. You got the QR code on the screen. Just shoot that or go to freegoldguide.com/grant. That's freegoldguide.com/grant. The number is 800-458-7356. These guys are great. You know, I've done interviews with them about this stuff. They're always there to answer very difficult questions from me about the benefits of gold. And I put them on the spot. And everything leads me coming back to the idea that this is a good place for money, and it has stood the test of time. So again, up to $7,500 in free silver, depending on how much gold you buy. That's going to come right to you when you go with Colonial Metals. I don't know anybody making a deal like that. Colonial Metals Group. Please pay them a visit. Get your free gold guide by going to freegoldguide.com/Grant. That's freegoldguide.com/Grant. All right, you ready for this? Air traffic control with pilots.
Is there any military activity out straight ahead of us?
No, we're not seeing anything. I had another one report at like 30,000 feet in the Eugene area. We're not sure what it is.
Yeah, there's lots moving out there.
1596, yeah, they're looking into it.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. You know, they're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy. There was some at 30 probably. I mean, they're shooting way up. We'd say maybe up to the 50s, it looks like. Is there traffic actually out about...
So think about that, 50 of them. 50? And they're at an altitude where these commercial pilots will see it? Come on. So again, would our military be putting commercial air traffic in danger? Some say these drones are not putting any of the commercial air traffic in danger. I'm looking at the video and they're darting all over the sky. And I'm thinking, you better believe they're putting commercial air traffic in danger.
Look at this. What the hell's going on here?
You think that's not putting people in danger?
Oh, please be picking this up. This is nuts. Look at that.
And they make no sound, which again is just like drone technology, right? We got XC Scott again says, look, these are American. Give me a break. They may be, they may not be. So now you've got to decide, you want to take your government at its word? I never do, which means they could still be American. Or you take them at their word, they don't know what they are. But why have they not shot them down? That is evidence to me that they may be military, because you would shoot them down, I would think. But we got a commander-in-chief who has no balls. That's Joe Biden. So you got to throw out all common sense with him at the helm.
Are 2 to 3 o'clock about, 20, 30 miles?
No, is that the 4 different lights going up and down? I'm getting a few reports, but you're seeing it right in front of you now too as well?
It's 2 to 3 o'clock up, about 2 to 3 o'clock from our position. Looks about 20 miles going in circles.
Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot. Yeah, we're not seeing anything. Getting lots of different reports out there. Some at 30, some all the way up to 50,000. About 3 or 4 different lights. Does it look like they're around your altitude now?
No, there's one way up high and one about my altitude. Moving in like a circle, like a corkscrew pattern. All right, I'm visually have eyes on what looks like an aircraft strobe that's at my 2 o'clock and 22 miles at my altitude, and I'm actually showing him on TCAS. Do you see that one?
Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot. I do not.
He looks like he's moving towards, it looks like it's moving towards the north. Like I said, 22 and a half miles.
See, what's crazy is air traffic control doesn't pick any of them up. So they're not being picked up on radar. We had somebody comment as they are picked up on radar. You can track them. Well, apparently many of them are not picked up on radar. 577 Jersey Customs Adventures says if they're China or Russia, they're launching them from the sea. Well, that would make sense when you listen to this congressman tell the story that he did, that they are coming from the sea, that you had over 50 of them, some of them surrounding a Coast Guard cutter.
Did mitigate, I think, some of the concerns there, but we always seem to miss something, and I'm very concerned that we're missing something here. I've raised the issue, as has my colleagues, Maliotakis and others in New Jersey and New York, about these drone sightings. So last night, I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility.
So you see, the police chief sees 50 drones come in off the ocean. The only way they're human is if they're being launched by a boat, because you would have seen them go out. So if they're being launched at sea, you would think you'd have radar that could see if there's ships out there. And if there are ships out there, why aren't you sending the Coast Guard out to investigate whose ships they are?
We had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water, followed right behind them. And I said, what's the rules of engagement? I mean, you do it if you're fighting against a narco trafficker or something. And they said, we don't know. We don't have any. So I did reach out to the commanding officer at the Joint Base, which is also in my district, and talked to him.
So think about that. They don't know the rules of engagement. This is typically what happens in Democrat administrations. In many respects, our military has fought with one or two hands tied behind its back, going all the way back to World War II. I don't think we fought a war to win, or at least given our military the ability to fight with all-out victory in sight since World War II. And here, they don't have rules of engagement. I'm going to tell you, if I'm defense secretary, if I'm Pete Hegseth, unless I'm getting word from the intelligence community or military operators that these are ours, don't shoot them down. But if you're not being told they're ours, you have to take them out of the sky. But we're not doing it, which is very, very suspect in and of itself. Two things. Either they're ours and we don't want to shoot down millions of dollars worth of technology, or they're not ours. Well, three things. Or they're not ours, okay? And we feel they are dangerous and we don't want to engage with them because we don't have tactical advantage against these drones. That would be another reason why you don't engage. If I'm a convenience store clerk and a guy has a gun pointed at my head and I have a gun on my hip, I'm not pulling the gun out to shoot him because he'll shoot me first. I don't have tactical advantage. I know he's in a better spot. I'm not engaging. Just give him the money. That could be a situation here. Or the third option, which you always have to consider with a Biden administration, is ineptitude. And they just are inept and won't shoot them down.
Very good conversation. Colonel Anthony Smith, Joint Base Fort Dix McGuire, the 87th Air Wing, Air Base Wing today. And I said, I know you have the capability, you've put out press releases, to identify and bring down drones. Why can't you deploy them at least to the ocean? Bring one of these down, find out who's doing it. They have the capability. He said, we don't have the authority, only within the parameters of our base. Well, there's a national interest here. Our jets fly over the ocean all the time for training, so that perimeter is larger. So I did write Secretary Lloyd Austin asking that capability that may be sitting in a closet somewhere. I know they use it all the time, but bring it out. And I'm not saying you got to share it with the sheriffs. It'd be nice. Just do it yourself. The interest of the American public. So I would ask if you would echo that request. I mean, DOD's got the capability, and maybe Homeland Security does as well. When we had a Zoom meeting with Secretary Mayorkas, our governor put it together, and I appreciated that. But I asked them, why can't we just track where they go to? Seemingly they're going out to sea, to something, a ship. We don't know for sure, but they come in off from the ocean. So the question really is, can't we just get DOD to share? In my first term, DOD and VA did a great thing, the DOD-VA sharing agreement for healthcare capabilities. It was fantastic. Why can't the DOD share this with Homeland Security, with FBI and others, so that you can go out and find out who they are? Maybe it's China. I chair the China Commission, and I've had 115 hearings on it. I'm barred from going there now. China is, and I'm on their hit list. Xi Jinping is a monster. Look what Putin's doing. They're all capable of doing horrible.
Yeah, they are. The question then becomes, why aren't we shooting them down? He asked it. We need to be. And why aren't we sharing information? maybe we are, maybe we aren't. I think in many respects, you're a member of Congress. I think even in Congress, you're kept in the dark. The deep state is very, very real. We have such a lack of transparency. Here's one thing I am hoping for with the new administration. When you get somebody like Kash Patel into the FBI, he can now decide, even current programs, what he wants to release and what he doesn't. And if we err on the side of transparency, providing we're not putting American service members or agents or American citizens in danger by sharing the information, well, then err on the side of transparency. This is supposed to be a government by and for the people. There's nothing transparent about this government whatsoever. So I'm hoping that'll start to change as President Trump gets in there and puts real patriots in positions of power. You know, somebody on the chat here, I just saw, I think, I don't know where I saw it, but said there was a video out yesterday with an orb. Many of the videos I've been playing, it doesn't have the orb. I'd like to see that. The problem now becomes on the internet, you don't know what's old, you don't know what's new. I noticed this with Mitch McConnell. You know, Mitch McConnell fell again. And I'm confused at what's old and what's new. He's got a bandage on his head. Is that even AI that's putting the bandage on his head? Is it real? Is it fake? What's happening right now in America with the flow of information, the American people have to be so on their game to decipher what's real, what's not. I hope that what I give all of you on this program is simply the truth, vetted information, and if I don't know if something's real or not, I'm gonna tell you that I don't know it. Okay? Most people don't ever want to admit that, but I will most certainly tell you that. Folks, let me tell you about my friends over at causanow.com, causanow.com/Grant. This is a buyer's club for patriots. This is about taking back our country. If you want all American-made products, 100%, products with no toxic chemicals in them, products you need for your home, just about every single thing you could ever imagine for your home is sold here, delivered straight to your door, just like Amazon, only without all the Chinese products, without all the shutting down mom and pops, without all the craziness like that. causanow.com/Grant is where I want you to go. Again, it's about a parallel economy, supporting companies that support the things that we do. This company is family owned. It's been around for decades. You've probably heard of it. causanow.com/Grant. Sign up. And when you sign up and start buying products from a company, not only can you feel good about yourself, not only are the products great. Oh, by the way, they sell meat with no hormone meat too, by the way, and it's great. Not only you feel great about yourself, but you know you're doing something to help move the country in the right direction by taking market share away from the big box stores and China and the rest of them. causanow.com/Grant. Go find out what it's all about. Sign up. They'll get in touch with you. They'll lead you through the process. You are going to love it. I have been a member of this buyer's club now for over a year, and I am so happy. causanow.com. All right. Turning now to more of the, let's see. This is Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett's congressman. He was on with Fox and Friends, is what it looks like. And here's what he had to say about this.
Oversight Committee member Tim Burchett joins us now. Congressman, thanks for joining us this morning. This is a little bit personal to me. My entire neighborhood, everybody in the surrounding cities, seems like it's all anybody's talking about because there are so many sightings. We're going to show you the one outside of my house that my kids captured just on Thursday night. But what are your thoughts on this? What's happening? And why don't we have more information? That's over my house. Yeah.
It's one of three things. It's either individuals, it's either the Chinese, or it's our military, or a combination thereof. Honestly, you don't see a lot of that in Tennessee, where I'm from, because everybody's got a 12-gauge shotgun, ma'am. And I suspect we need to open the season up on drones. But it's I've been.
So think about it. If you're going to take one of those down and it gets close enough to you, a shotgun is the way to do it, and it's probably the safest way to do it as well. You don't want to be firing 5.56 rounds or 9 millimeters into the air. You're gonna that bullet goes up, it comes down, it's gonna kill somebody someplace. But the interesting thing is he didn't mention extraterrestrial. He didn't mention aliens. I don't think this is aliens. I really don't. I just don't believe that it is.
Briefed on military maneuvers where we know that that the Chinese are doing that, and so it's a real problem. I think we need to, and honestly, they don't respect this country right now because of who's in the White House. I mean, you saw the Chinese balloon; it was able to fly over our secret installations, and even in Tennessee over Oak Ridge, it turned around and went back. We could have dropped it up in the Pacific long time before it went all the way across the ocean. They dropped it off the coast of Myrtle Beach. So they are actually testing us, I feel like, and we are failing that test. And until Donald Trump gets in the White House, you'll continue to see this. But I would say it will sharply drop when he.
So I agree that this activity will most likely diminish after President Trump comes into office, unless it's our own government. And I would say the most likely scenario is our government followed by adversaries. And the reason I say adversaries is because you can see these things. As I mentioned, the bright lights, as you see, all of it leads me to believe that it's our government. Now, if you remember, there was a hearing, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 months ago, there was a UFO hearing. It may have been longer than that because time goes by so fast. But in the report where they declassified a lot of this stuff, the government still came out, quote, "There is no evidence that the government is covering up contact with aliens." That's directly from the government report. Not necessarily that you have to believe them or not. I think it was March is when that report came out. Now, whistleblowers still were adamant that the government was involved in a cover-up and that there was a highly top secret crash retrieval program taking place and that the government did have these robotic style unidentified vehicles. We still don't have any confirmation of that.
That doesn't make me feel safe that I have to wait till Donald Trump is in office to find out what's flying over, like literally outside my window. We're not even talking like way over my house.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you've got local laws and regulations, and I would suggest you petition your local folks. But FAA is supposed to control the airspace, and they're failing at their job.
Here's what just so you know, everybody in my neighborhood is calling the police station and the sheriff, and then the sheriff says call the FBI, and nobody gets any answers. Here's what the FAA said. They said safely integrating drones into the national airspace system is a key priority for the FAA. We look into all reports of unauthorized drone operations and investigate when appropriate. What? Like, that doesn't tell me anything.
That's gutless, ma'am, and that is the attitude of the federal government. And I suspect our friends at DOJ will make that report, and I hope Congress has the guts to do something about it. But that in lies the problem right there, because what you'll do is, as I stated on my X account, it had over 3 million views. What I said the problem is the congressmen that are in that room. They got to get the guts to do something about it. And if they make the propeller in one guy's district and the battery in the other parts of the district, they're going to say, well, we need to study this for a while. And we don't need to study it, ma'am. It needs to go away.
Amen. This is why I love Tim Burchett. If you watch my Real America's Voice show, he's a regular fixture on that program because he speaks the truth. He clearly has the best interest of the people in mind. Now, you want to know somebody who does not have the best interest of the people in mind? Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey. So New Jersey seems to be where the hotbed of action is happening. He came out and he said this, and you want to talk about gutless? This is gutless.
The drones in New Jersey, in Morris County, I don't know how many mayors sent a letter to you this morning asking for a clarification. What can you tell us? What is going on, and why is it taking so long to come up with an explanation?
Yeah, it's a good, I don't blame people for being frustrated. Let me say, most importantly, right up front, we see no evidence, and I say we, this includes Homeland Security, FBI, Secret Service, our state police, authorities at all levels of government. The most important point to say is we don't see any concern for public safety. That's number one. Number two, having said that, it's really frustrating that we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing. We had last night 49 sightings. I think 20 of them were over Hunterdon. Now those include, I think I saw one mistaken a fixed-wing aircraft, a plane, a small Piper Cub, for instance, for a drone, or you saw one and that counts, and then I saw the same one and that counts. So we think these are overstated, but it's a non-zero number. I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later. I would just ask folks to continue to let the FBI or their local law enforcement know when they see something, and we'll continue to do everything we can with our federal partners to get clearer answers.
Why is it so hard?
So he says that there's no indication that there's any danger. You cannot say that, just as the FBI agent can't say it, the governor of New Jersey can't say it. And if you're telling me you don't know what they are, and we're supposed to believe you on that, take him on the face that he doesn't, then you can't tell us we're safe. Because literally, and when I mean literally, if it's an unknown, it means it has unknown dangers. That's not me out on a limb saying that. That's just common sense. Karine Jean-Pierre, I can't wait for her to go by the wayside, right?
There have been repeated drone sightings in the Northeast, especially in New Jersey. These are not small drones, some of them pretty large. They're flying at low altitudes, they're flying in flocks. Has the president been briefed on this situation?
So we are certainly aware, the president is aware. So we are closely tracking the activity and coordinating closely with relevant agency, including DHS and FBI, to continue to investigate these incidents. Don't have anything beyond that to share, obviously.
They never have anything to share. Let me ask you this. Why aren't F-18s dispatched, or F-16s, or whatever fighter jets you might have nearby? Why aren't they dispatched to go fly by these things? Well, why aren't we sending Black Hawk helicopters? Go see what they are. Go investigate them. Again, with the Coast Guard cutter that had 50 of them following a Coast Guard cutter, shoot those mother scratchers out of the sky, pick them up and figure out what they are.
This is something that DHS and FBI are tracking very, very closely, and so I would have to refer you to them directly, but aware. Keeping an eye out and looking into the incidents that you just mentioned.
Still though, but has the federal government ruled out that these are controlled by foreign entities?
Yeah.
And do you know if they're conducting surveillance over these areas?
I cannot make any kind of predictions or comments about that specifically from here. This is something that DHS is looking at and FBI, so I would have to refer you to them. I don't have anything beyond that. We're tracking this very closely. Obviously, we're all aware of the incidents that have been reported. I'm not going to go into what they could be or could not be from here. That is something that obviously is being looked at as those respective agencies that I mentioned.
So you see what she said? Nothing. It's maddening. I want the truth. I want the public to know we know exactly what they are. We know where they're coming from. And we can't reveal it right now for national security reasons. We're watching it. Do they pose a threat? If they pose a threat, you got to say there's a potential they could pose a threat. But we've got countermeasures in place and we're going to keep the American citizens safe. Or, no, they don't pose a threat. We know where they're coming from. We know what they are. We can't say because of national security reasons that they don't pose a threat. I mean, give us something. Or if you don't know, then she needs to say, we don't know what these are. DHS is tracking it, trying to figure out what they are, but we don't know. Not, I can't comment, I can't say. That doesn't give us any answers. All we want is the truth. And if the truth is you can't say because you don't know, then just say, I can't say because we don't know. But they're so worried about how they look. So instead, they try to pull a wool over the American people's eyes. That alone is about as bad, and I mean bad as it gets when they do this. But that's what you get from Karine Jean-Pierre. One last time on this. This is my favorite video of all because the guy's reaction to this is just classic. It really is.
There is some wild-looking crap in the skies. Holy piss. Hold on. I'm gonna put my hat on backwards. I don't know what's going on. I hope these are in focus. Look at this. What the hell's going on here? Oh, please be picking this up. This is nuts. Look at that. God, I wish my neighbor was here right now. He comes out and watches for UFOs, but holy crap.
Well, those are UFOs. How about this one? Again, Bedminster. A giant lit up Christmas tree in the sky the size of an SUV over the house. Man, oh man, a Shevitz, as the saying goes. Well, tonight on the Real America's Voice show, we're going to try to get to the bottom of exactly what's going on here. Again, even more. I've got some experts in this, military and UFO experts, to come on and talk about this because I'm just fascinated by this story, and I'm angered that the government is not giving us a straight scoop in all of this. The Democrats are now, well, being somewhat honest about what happened with the election. Let me play a clip for you there on that. But before I do, I want to tell you about my friends over at Patriot Mobile. I have an iPhone. Patriot Mobile is my service. I've got 2 lines, 1 phone, 2 networks. I've got a Verizon network and a T-Mobile network on this phone. So no matter what city I go to, I got service. Only Patriot Mobile can provide you with that. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. Use the promo code GRANT for a free month's service. They are putting the money where their mouth is. You know that every time you make a phone call with this phone, some of that money is going to go to push conservative causes, whether it's in God We Trust signs in schools, whether it's supporting conservative school board candidates throughout the country, whether it's lobbying in Washington, D.C. and pushing a message of conservatism and holding elected leaders accountable. This is what Patriot Mobile is all about. Donating to great conservative causes like Folds of Honor, which is fabulous. Know that Patriot Mobile is there for us. Switching is so easy, by the way, folks. Literally just call the number 972-PATRIOT. Make the switch today. It's literally typing in an eSIM card into your phone, or they'll send you a new phone, just like a regular cell phone company. It's that easy. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. 972-PATRIOT. 972-PATRIOT. I promise you, folks, you will not regret switching. If you do, you can call me, email me, chat box me, say, Grant, you screwed up. If there's anybody that hates Patriot Mobile, put it in the chat box. I promise you there's nobody, because they're great. And the customer service right here in the U.S. is great. 100% U.S.-based customer service. All right, thank you, Patriot Mobile, for your sponsorship of this program. Lastly, this is a Democrat strategist who talked about the loss of Kamala Harris.
For the left, our amplification ecosystem is the mainstream media in Hollywood. And
so he's complaining that they just have Hollywood and the media on their side. Now, I'm complaining that they have Hollywood and the media on their side. But the reason I play this for you is he gives us a little kudos. When I say us, I mean all of my friends here on Rumble. He gives us, all of my friends at RAV and One American News, and I'll even throw Newsmax in there, but Right Side Broadcasting and all of these independent conservative commentators. He throws us a bone here. This is a Democrat who's complaining that they just have Hollywood and the media because we have something else.
And the mainstream media in Hollywood, don't really mess with us, or don't really. They're not like actually allies. And they're not where these voters who don't want to pay attention to politics are. Like, we're sitting here at Harvard at a big event with the mainstream media, and this is like voters out there that we actually needed to reach are not seeing this at all, and they're not seeing mainstream media at all. And, I think fundamentally we have a mismatch between the amplification engine of the left and, the media of this moment, which is increasingly alternative, anti-establishment, all that stuff. And so that presents a real issue for us as the party of institutions at a time when people really hate institutions.
Alternative media. He says we've got them beat on that front. Well, I'm going to tell you we do have them beat on that front, but this is a long history of having them beat on that front. You know what the original alternative media was? Talk radio. Back in the Rush Limbaugh days, when talk radio was king. Now, I do talk radio in Los Angeles, AM 870. You can listen 9 to 12 on Rumble. The Morning Answer. Save it. Go Go stream it in the morning. We do a really fun show, my co-host Jen Horn and I. So there's still a place for talk radio, but it's overwhelmingly being replaced by podcasting. It's overwhelmingly being replaced by streaming networks like Real America's Voice, where you can get Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk and John Solomon and myself and Brian Glenn now. So many of us. So this is a great way to reach the masses. But what he's complaining about is the same thing that I complain about. How do I reach the people that aren't looking for the news? That's why I tell my conservative friends, go on the CNNs. You know, there are many Americans that still think CNN is the independent mainstream media. They're the non-biased cable network. Have you watched CNN? Would they even spot biasness if they see it? Most everyday Americans who are not engaged like you, and you are if you're watching this program, they can't spot bias. They can't see it. I mean, you know what's an interesting exercise? I mean, I'll just do it for fun here. If I go WashingtonPost.com, why does that not come up? Let's see. Washington Post. If I just go to the Washington Post and I go to their headline, so here, I'm going to show you bias where the everyday folks won't even see it. I've got this up. You can't see the screen. I wish I could share the screen on here, but you can't. First headline, murder suspect struggles with medical condition, shaped view of health system. So instantly their top story is going to make an excuse for the guy who was accused of murdering the CEO. Progress on inflation stalled, threatening to complicate Republicans' plans. Now, I haven't read the article, but progress on inflation stalled. Why would that complicate Republicans' plans? All that should do is make our plans even more necessary and have Americans even more eager to have Republicans institute their plans. They could have been written that headline in a very different fashion. Here's one. Opposition to the Trump administration won't be one size fits all. Well, clearly bias against President Trump. Liberals should defend civil rights, not cower based on election results. So the Washington Post literally telling you, liberals, fight, fight, fight. Let's see. I can go down the list. You can spot bias everywhere if you really look for it, and that's me going on a whim to the Washington Post website. All right, folks, that is going to do it for us. GrantStinchfield.com is the website. GrantStinchfield.com. Please sign up for the email list there if you can. That'd be great. Subscribe to this channel. If you're watching on Rumble, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Heck, if you're watching anywhere, thank you. And looks like my live stream on Facebook just literally ended. Why? It got cut off. Does it only go for an hour? I don't know. Facebook shut down. It's so unbelievable. The battle that I have to wage with these social media companies is literally nuts. How are we doing on YouTube? Oh, a record 10 people on YouTube. Thank you to the 600 plus watching on Rumble. I mean that. Thank you. And thank you, Rumble. Rumble's the only place now left for, call it a social media site, big tech company. Rumble's the only place left where you have freedom of speech. God bless Rumble. So again, subscribe to the program, sign up for the email list, spread it, copy the link if you can, and email it out to your friends if they're interested in UFOs or any of these things that we talked about today. We talked about a lot of different topics on this program. All right, GrantStinchfield.com, Stinchfield1776 on all the social media platforms. God bless all of you. Thank you for watching. Stinchfield's Army Rolls, of course, thanks to you. We'll see you on the Real America's Voice show. Tonight, I've got Lauren Boebert coming on to talk about a possible government shutdown. She's got a new bill up. It's very, very interesting, this bill, by the way. We're going to talk about that. more on UFOs. We got a live report from the border with Ben Berkwam and Oscar Ramirez. So that should be a good show on Real America's Voice. It always is. Again, Stinchfield's Army Rolls, folks. Thanks for watching.